the Pinterest and pin potential strategies that I use on my clients have been able to get us some really, really good results. And like I said, I work with e-commerce clients. We're actually seeing that we've doubled the revenue from last year by the end of Q3 now this year.
Yeah.
That's all just from applying, the strategies that we've used in pin potential.
Hi, Olympia. Welcome to our interview. I'm so excited because it's not very often that I get to sit down with a Pinterest manager and strategist to talk about pin potential. Now, before we jump in, can you introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about the work that you do?
Yes. So thanks, Meagan. I'm Olympia. I am a Pinterest marketing manager, and I have been one for the past 5 years now. I used to work as a marketing manager for various SMEs in London, but more recently, I've decided to go freelance, and I really found that Pinterest was the right platform for me. You have a lot of really, really great businesses on there. So that's kind of why I let into that a little bit more.
And what sort of, do you specialize in a particular niche or industry or different types of businesses, or you're open to sort of like it goes on a case by case basis for you?
Yeah, so in terms of the business type, it's quite interesting the types of businesses that I do work with on Pinterest. We do have a lot that are more in the home decor space and fashion space, but I do work with a lot of e-commerce businesses because we get to see that monetary value that it brings in for you, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah, right. The measurable ROI or results it makes, especially when you're in a service-based business. So you have a background in marketing, but you decided you wanted to move into the Pinterest space. So did you know very much about, before you joined Pin Potential, did you know much about Pinterest, or did you feel confident in your sort of Pinterest strategy?
So I worked with, it's quite interesting really, I worked with a few local businesses who knew that they needed to be on Pinterest but didn't necessarily know how to use it. And I was helping them manage their Facebook and their Instagram pages. And what's quite funny is that they directed me to you and said, look, I know somebody who looks after Pinterest, but I don't have the time to kind of like learn it and use it for my business. Could you have a look into this?
Oh, fantastic.
And that's where I started to discover it. So I joined your Pin Potential course through a recommendation. And that's where I started to notice all the similarities that it has to Google SEO.
Yeah, and I remember that. And I remember you saying that to me. You're like, this really makes sense based on my SEO knowledge.
Exactly. So I had a background in Google SEO, and then obviously I'd done a lot of social media as well. And then Pinterest felt like the perfect blend of the two, and kind of taking all the best qualities from each of them as well. So once going through the Pin Potential course, I really started to notice that actually this is something that I could do. And not only that, businesses don't necessarily know that they need to use it, but don't necessarily know how to use it so much either. So that's when I started realizing there's a real demand in helping.
Especially in the UK, like you're based in England. And I know that, sometimes business owners really like to work with service providers who are based in the same country because you sort of understand the audience, the unique needs, although that's not exclusively true always. But I know that, I've had people reach out to me and they say, I would really love to work with someone based, close to me geographically, even just for like time zones, etc.
Exactly.
So thinking about that, then did you manage any Pinterest accounts before you took Pin Potential, or not really?
So I was kind of doing it as a bit of a test run on a local business. So I already helped her with her website management, email marketing, and Instagram and Facebook. And then we said, look, let's give it a go. Let's see how we can run your Pinterest page at the same time as me learning it. So it was kind of like a test run. So not necessarily having any experience beforehand, but going through the course step by step really helped learn on the job.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it probably mapped onto your previous knowledge so well, like SEO and other social media channels, like these things are all connected, right? There's so much overlap. It's like, it was almost like it was a little bit of a missing piece, and like you had all this knowledge and you were bringing it together.
Yeah. It was a real light bulb moment for me, and realizing that actually this is the route that I want to go down. And having all of that information in one spot for me was enough for me to go, right, this is something that I'm going to now learn, apply, but actually offer it as a service for other businesses too.
Yeah.
So it really, really helped, me in my freelance career, to be fair.
I love that. And
in taking it to the next level.
did you have any hesitations about joining the course? Like when you sort of looked at the course and you were thinking, okay, like I think I want to do this. The course came recommended, or I came recommended as an educator and a coach in the Pinterest marketing space. But did you have any hesitations as someone who had a lot of experience in marketing? And, obviously you have the skill set that, to absorb the information, but were you worried about anything or hesitant?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're always a bit hesitant beforehand in thinking, is it something that I'm going to be able to do? Have I got enough time for it?
Yeah.
But actually, once diving in and realizing that the information was kind of like in bite-sized chunks, really, really learn and apply at the same time, that's when I started to realize, actually, I got quite invested into it really quickly.
Okay.
And actually, what I thought would take me a few months, I was able to churn out, it got exciting for me, like realizing the results quite quickly and how easy it is to apply through the information that you gave me. So yeah, I went from having kind of a couple of months deadline to really just turning it over by half.
And that's really the idea, right? Is that you can do it at your own pace, that it's meant to be not overwhelming, but little trainings. And if I remember correctly, when you first started that journey, you had a little one at home and you now have two. So, having a young family, working for yourself, time is precious. That's time away. Or even if you're learning during nap time, or, on the go when you're walking somewhere with the stroller or heading to the park, you really have to consider if you have the time and capacity. And if somebody is unsure about signing up, maybe they're worried about the same thing, the investment or the timing, or if it will really work for them, or wherever, like even look at you, right? You have so much experience in marketing. You already had dipped your toe into the Pinterest world. Is there anything that you would want, like you could share with them about the time investment? So it sounds like you love the short trainings. You were able to implement really quickly and see results for your clients.
And I think another thing to add to that as well is that we all know that we're looking to diversify our platforms. We all know that it's important to kind of make sure that we're not only just relying on one social media platform, but we can also make sure that we're covered in all areas. So when you do actually invest into Pin Potential and join the course, what I found was that I was always getting solid information. I wasn't getting confused by all the other pieces of insights that were available online, especially TikTok. So actually what happened was that I was in this space with like-minded Pinterest managers and businesses that were looking to use Pinterest for their business. And we were all on the similar journey. So I think that really does kind of remove any hesitations. And it's good for your business as well, because, you're always getting the right information. There's so much bad information out there. I knew that I was in the right place.
You mentioned TikTok. TikTok is especially a bit of a trap for misinformation, or even just people who share like enough to be dangerous, or like they don't really tell you I think there's a lot of just things that aren't truthful, or they're meant to sort of like hook you and interest you, but don't actually tell you the real situation, which is, I think, very common for regular people. We're just too busy. So it's like, is this true? Can you actually do this with Pinterest? Or there's just like gossip, right? Like so much poor gossip.
That's it. And it's a real safe space being part of this community, knowing that the information that we got is real, is valid, and it's approved by Pinterest, so that it's a safety net as well.
And things are constantly changing. Like that's the reality of social media and Pinterest. Pinterest, I think the backbone of Pinterest mostly stays the same, but there are little shifts and changes, and we can reflect that in the course content. And I'm just going to pipe in that when you do invest in Pin Potential, the core of the course is it's lifetime access or for as long as exists. So when you jump in, even if you buy it now and in a year or two, I've been selling digital products since 2018, but with that, all the updates come with that. So if there are major shifts, it's included in the course, and that will always be available to our students. Is there anything about the experience in Pin Potential or the coaching that's provided or the course, the way the course is set up, that you think is different or refreshing from other courses or products you've bought online?
Well, we have a lot of access to you, Meagan. I think that was like the main core selling point for me. And also the fact that I know that, you have good contacts with people in Pinterest, which means if there was anything, we'd have discussions and we'd talk about things that arise on Pinterest. Why are we seeing these inconsistencies? Why is this happening to my page? It's happening to somebody else's page as well. And if we ever wanted to dig deeper for any reason, I know that you have those connections within Pinterest. We always get a solid piece of information from you.
Absolutely.
In that. So it's having that. It's having regular meetings with you as well, which is great. Being able to pick your brains, and being able to kind of brainstorm those ideas.
Well, and that's just it. It's always evolving, but that conversation about the unique changes, or I have a client in this space, what do I do? Or I observe these changes. Like, that's natural, right? And sometimes it's like the work we can do as a service provider, it can feel really isolating. And you're like, okay, I feel like I've done everything. We just need to come together and talk about it and sort of have a fresh perspective. And hopefully those that jump in and, you can come to the coaching calls and say that. I do think it's funny because I think we have a lot of Pinterest managers that come and stay in the program because they want that access to updates. They want to be able to say, hey, this is happening with a client account. I've heard that from others that they love that. So what's your favorite part of the course, or what's one thing that you really enjoyed from the course itself, or something you'd highlight for Pinterest managers?
So we've got your AI bots.
Yeah.
And for me, that saved so much time.
Right. I don't know how people do Pinterest management without, like, I did it all manual back in the day, but like now I'm just like, wow, you can really expand your client roster, save so much time with those AI assistants.
It's been amazing, yeah. So they're really, really clever, and you can tell it everything that you want to do. And yeah, like you said, I can't believe I used to do it the old way before. So it does. It saves so much time. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And then I know we can't name names, but you've had a really incredible roster of different clients. Do you think that the program helped you create evolving Pinterest strategy that helped your clients get, brag-worthy, or maybe even like, some pretty big wins? And don't name names because obviously we all have client confidentialities, but has there been anything that you've really celebrated, or where you've been able to take what you learned and apply it to a client account?
Yeah, absolutely. I can confidently say that the Pinterest and Pin Potential strategies that I use on my clients have been able to get us some really, really good results. And like I said, I work with e-commerce clients, and we saw some really nice sales last year on our page. And prior to that, I think it was about the year before that, we didn't have that data on Pinterest. So Pinterest has recently introduced this data. And not only that, we're actually seeing that we've doubled the revenue from last year by the end of Q3 now this year.
Yeah.
That's all just from applying, the strategies that we've used in Pin Potential. It's been brilliant.
That's so nice with e-commerce, right? With those conversion insights, when you can actually track it. I think a lot of problems that, folks who work in the Pinterest marketing space is that if you don't have a direct line, because it can be top of funnel, right? We don't always see those sales come in right away. So having that tracking, having that information. So do you feel confident with your Pinterest strategy? I feel like, it's one of those things that sometimes in the early days, you just need to feel like you have a system in place. But what I observe as someone who's sort of mentored you in the past is that you're so confident now with what you do. And I'm so proud of you. You've scaled your business. You've created a business that you love and brought all those skills together to really serve your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. That's totally true, actually, because I think I've been working with you for about, I'd say, yeah, nearly like 5 years and Peak
Right?
Potential. So
Where
yeah,
did time
yeah.
go? It's shocking,
Honestly,
actually.
it was the best decision that my, you know, business friend could have made for me in pushing me into this group with you. Yeah, it was. I'm so pleased I've gone down this route. Pinterest is just such a lovely platform to work on,
Mm,
and then having the help with you and the community in the group has been really the confidence that I've needed to take it where I can now.
right. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I know other social media managers or VAs or even people who are already taking Pinterest management clients are going to really love hearing about your story. Olympia, if people want to hear about the work that you do online, where's the best place to find you?
My website is www.saymoreonline.com. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. My name is Olympia Nolan, and I just share. I connect with most businesses on there, so
Awesome.
and I share little nuggets of information every now and then.
Wonderful. And we'll share those details below the video. Thank you so much again. And if you are a Pinterest manager, social media manager, or interested in offering Pinterest management services, don't hesitate to reach out to make sure that Pin Potential is the best place for you. Thanks so much, Olympia.
Lovely, thank you, Meagan.